Good afternoon, everybody. It is David Perlmutter from QuantumListing, and welcome to our Wednesday webinar. We are very excited to have our longtime friend and commercial real estate collaborator, Andreas Senie, with us today. Andreas is, like me, a commercial real estate broker, as well as a tech founder, and I always find the real estate tech that I like best is always created by commercial real estate brokers because we feel your pain because we walk amongst you. So let me tell you a little bit about Andreas. He is a third-generation real estate developer, a licensed real estate broker, and the founder and former managing partner of EAC Properties, a full-service middle-market real estate business in partnership with the Higgins Group, which has 13 offices and over 300 agents. He's extensively experienced in business development, SaaS, or software as a service, commercial real estate technology, and financial technology. Andreas has worked with some of the world's largest nonprofits and for-profit organizations. He passionately continues driving technology adoption and creating synergistic working relationships, resulting in acceleration towards organizational objectives, increased revenue, and overall long-term growth. Andreas has served in leading roles across many technology solutions ranging from CRM and marketing automation platforms to e-commerce services, including CRM and marketing automation platform Agile CRM, tenant rep and listing service 10Source, capital raising platform Real Connects, and comprehensive integrated SaaS platform 500 Apps, among others. Andreas most recently completed Wharton's FinTech Revolution Executive Training. Congratulations, I didn't know that. And he holds a master's certification in real estate development from Cornell University, studied business management at Fairfield University and property management at Drexel University. And he is probably the one person who knows more about commercial real estate technology than anybody else I know. So welcome, Andreas. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Dave. It's great to be back. You and I are part of that original tribe of CRE Tech, passion-forward professionals, back when there were only 80 providers. I know we got off to a bit of a rough start here on our slides, but it's always a pleasure to be back with QuantumListing, to be back talking with you, especially given our shared background, our shared love of commercial real estate, and then our forward approach to technology from two different angles. With that, I'd love to kind of dig in. For those tuning in, thank you for tuning in. But historically, and David will tell you, we're brokers, Main Street Bob, out there doing deals forever, right? Business was organized on index cards and files. It was early on in the industry. CoStar was basically the only game in town, at least commercially. And because of that, there was this barrier to entry for the rest of us, for the industry itself. The reach of the internet, expanded geographies, this is what we're showing on the screen, allowed us to expand the way we operated, but you still needed that network of people. People needed to answer the phone, you needed to know how to do business. And what CoStar, the Death Star, sometimes referred to as, did was they hired a building full of people to do all that research. Effectively the original technology, right? Manpower. More people we throw at a problem, the more defined the solution can become, the more comps and so forth. Cut to 2015, 2016, David and I bump into each other at a tech show. I've been out building my brokerage business with the original iPad growing out of my arm. We just released a blog on this. And I looked great. I had the same report Collier's walked around with, but I was able to give my clients so much more impassioned representation because I was a smaller firm, smaller team with just as much data. And that was the big shift. And that was what was so exciting. And that's when I met you, David, at actually it was Disrupt CRE, I believe. And you were out there saying, well, wait a minute, I got to get my listings out there. Do you remember that? 2015? Back 80 platforms. And that's when this all really started. So just to give everybody a visual there, 2016, 80 platforms. QuantumListing on this list, mind you. Preco is just being founded. These platforms, at that time, I'm logging in as a broker, 2015, 2016, I'm logging into 13 platforms, 2 hours a day, easily, one after another. Check this listing site, check that listing site, go to Town Records, check my email, so on and so forth. And very quickly, for those that were taking advantage, you saw these smaller firms start to really pick up speed and grow. Cut to the following year, to 2019, we go from 80 providers, a couple thousand providers, each now with, I'm the biggest, I'm the best. It's no longer CoStar's game. There's others out there. Many of you have heard of Excelligent. They're no longer here. So what happened? We had this extreme explosion of providers. David, you highlighted it perfectly earlier on the call. I love it when brokers create services. Why? Well, my answer is because they actually solve the need of the end user, us as brokers. A lot of these technologies, in my talks, are referred to as 1.0 technologies. They were solving perceived problems. They weren't day-to-day issues. They were perceived problems. How can we make it better? It doesn't need to get better. We were doing business. Dave was doing business. I was doing business. Many of you on this call were doing a lot of business, I'm sure. Cut to today, 2020. Again, mushrooming space. And now COVID. So what was once a whisper or a bit too far-fetched, I'm not going to touch this. I'm a larger firm. I'm a Colliers, I'm a Cushman. I'm just going to keep doing CoStar and have my teams, my marketing. All of a sudden, these new age brokerages, these tech-enabled brokerages are taking off. COVID is here. Everything stops. A paradigm shift has occurred. To quote my friend Saul Klein, one of the founding members, part of the team that helped create Realtor.com, is now Realtor.com. In commercial, residential is miles ahead. They're all online already. Commercial, still chained to our desks. Cut to 2020, everybody can't go into work. All of a sudden, everyone's figuring out Zoom. Each of us, all of us, are scrambling. And the ones with the tech-forward approach really had a leg up in all industries, including, especially in e-commerce. It's your Target, your Best Buy. Why? Because they're taking advantage of the technology that's offered. And make no mistake, the technology that's available to us as real estate professionals allows us to go get as much business as we want, because we can get the answers to every question with the right technology. We can reach the right people with the right ingenuity. I used to love, in 2016, I was one of the few brokers, I'm sure, using Prospect Now in my area. I was picking up 2 new leads a week, sending out good old-fashioned mailers to properties that would be coming online. Nobody was doing it. They were limited by their view and their tools. It's as simple as fire. As cavemen, we brought fire into caves to keep warm. Why would you not start using a lighter? Why would you not take advantage of gasoline? That's what technology is to commercial real estate. You still need to be able to maneuver and build relationships, but everything else today should be accelerating you to that end goal. And that's where the biggest breakdown is occurring in the space today, because it's not accelerating in many cases. It's causing a plethora of silos, or what I refer to as desolate data. Some platforms, some of the providers out there, QuantumListing being one, Preco was built to do this, are connecting to each other. Just as you bring fire into that cave, and it can warm many people in an area, having many little fires out in the wilderness doesn't help anyone. There's no warmth there. There's no connectivity. A very rudimentary example, parallel, but it's really that simple. The more places you have to get data, put data, house data, bring data, the less time, the more errors can happen, and the less insights you start to derive. And that's why I founded CRE Collaborative in 2016. The industry then, 80 platforms. I needed something to save me time. And it did. Took my 13 down to 1. And I was still logging into 4 other things, email and so forth, but today, even that, more and more, we can have this single pane of glass that people refer to, this custom dashboard. And David, I'll let you chime in there. I mean, is that your historical outlook on it? Well, I sip some
Absolutely.
water.
I think you really hit the nail on the head. And the nice thing is that all the good ideas haven't been produced yet. There's still new great stuff that is coming on the market. Um, I know that you and I have are both using the data that we get from land checks, for instance, which tells our members what's going on in their market, not necessarily in terms of deals so much, but where are the brownfields, where are the cell phone towers, where are anything that are going to impact the value of your real estate. uh, I started using in my brokerage this incredible technology called Resquared, which helps you surface uh, all the local tenants' email and Facebook Messenger addresses, and it saves hours and hours and hours, uh, and is very effective at getting leads. We just started a QuantumListing, a new relationship with a company called Next CRE that they came from Marcus and Millichap, and then also and from GMAC, the large financial firm, and they're using their background to help brokers like us, have relationships with what they call the must-buy investors, people who are in the middle of or just beginning 1031 exchanges, and they need to find deals fast. So, they sort of characterize it as like a Tinder for must-buy investors
Yeah.
and brokers, making the match. And you get to choose if you want to work with somebody or not. It's not like they get all the confidential information. The broker has to say that this guy's criteria match well with my deal. So there's all sorts of really interesting and fun, and hopefully very very profitable uh, technology that is coming out there and is becoming available to us, and will help all of our bottom lines. So.
Absolutely, and that's a great example. So I jumped over while you were talking to this data flow chart. The different stages. As brokers, we are involved in many stages of assets, acquisition, disposition, sometimes management, depending on how far and wide we service. And each of these technologies, right, and these stages have different people, different professionals that have to get involved, different data and different management. And what David just touched on, spot on. So we started with acquisition, finding the assets, whether it's a cherry, whether it's ideal spot, and others. What and why? Why am I doing business here? Why do I need to pay attention to here? And that's where AI is going to unlock some incredible things. But just like AI works on a wealth of data and gets smarter the more data it has, each of your assets, your deals, pick up data, and whether you're the person putting it in and creating that data, when traveling across your systems, becomes more and more valuable. And David highlighted his new partner, Next CRE. So you come in, you have an asset, you're disposing that asset. All right, well, I've sold it. Now I've got X amount of days to identify that next asset for 1031 exchange. Where am I going to look? Well, this system is going to highlight which markets to look at. I'm going to look at the demographics and the shifts, the different areas, to which David also highlighted land checks. Land checks, let me look at the zoning changes. Zip Analyzer, let me look forward at income, disposable income. And then let me go to my CRM. Let me reach out to all the deal makers I know in that area to get those deals, to see if they have anything for me. Once I have that deal, let me bring it over to QuantumListing, get it out to those markets. You're on the left, you're on the right. And now that I've done that, well, now I need to underwrite and fund that deal. How do I do that? And that's where all of these technologies, some of which haven't been released yet, some are coming soon, are helping us do things faster and further than we've ever done. Because we're no longer restricted to a 1 hour rule, to markets we can drive, to my phone book or my Rolodex. I have my CRM. I have networks I can reach out to find more people, to get better bids, proposals, to manage that asset in a way I've never done, especially another shift with COVID was keyless entry, optimizing buildings. All of that data is valuable insights that allow you to manage those assets better, to be a better partner to your tenants, and then start the cycle again. So as brokers, we are in the unique position to not only advise our clients on the value of these networks in our markets, but then to provide that extra add value in the systems we use, because make no mistake, our clients are using some of these. There's nothing that restricts these investors, owners, and operators from getting the same data we do. So what my market especially sets me apart, my brokerage apart, is not only our local knowledge, but the fact that we advise our clients and we can show our clients the wealth of data. We can respond to them much faster. Now, here's, and forgive me, I use Zoom more than WebEx, so I have to figure out how to go back to my slide deck. I think I'm here. And David, as one of the earlier providers, he has a syndication system built in. And I'll never forget it. We met at a tech show. QuantumListing was there. He had one of the original iOS apps for listing providers, making it easy to upload the listing and then easy to send it. And carrying that vision through, Preco not only makes it easy to upload, we're a data management platform. So we actually host that data for you. So as promised in our title, what to do here in 2022, my day-to-day as a broker, and David, if yours looks different, let me know. This is it. I mean, I fill my pipeline, close business, I win business, I look to expand and recruit. And as far as the toolbox technology, I'm prospecting for new clients all the time. I'm managing my inventory, pushing my brand, which today is all social all the time. David will laugh, but those of you that know me will laugh. I was the guy who said Twitter and Instagram were never going to be a thing. Twitter's for people that can't write, and Instagram's for people that can't read. Guess what? My clients are there. My future clients are there. So now we're there. And we're taking all that data and deploying it across our technology stack. If you don't know what a technology stack is, call me or David after this call, and we'll start this in a very, very slower manner. Most of you tuning in, I'm sure, have some set of technology, even if it's just a website. Every place you have data is a piece of technology that you can deploy and optimize. To simplify that, general terms, on the broadcast side, if I may say so, QuantumListing will get it out there wherever it needs to be in a tremendous set of distribution at an incredibly low cost, whereas Preco will host it, provide insights and actionable data to you. Because it's your data at the end of the day, you should own it, you should be able to move it, you should be able to add to it. And the GDPR and other data concerns notwithstanding, you should be able to delete it and the right to be forgotten. These are all the big concerns for 2022. And well, in 2015, David and I standing in a New York conference saying, well, we've got the iPad, we've got the iOS, let's go. We're making more money than the other guys. We're winning the business. I think moving forward, and many people will tell you, this is the most valuable asset your team now has is going to be your combined data. That's where Preco AI thrives. David, I know I droned on a bit there.
No, it was,
so with that, I'll come back to you.
Let's pause and see if anybody watching in real time has any questions. You can either unmute yourself if you're muted or put something in the chat if you want. I know that from experience that commercial real estate brokers prefer to give the image that they actually know everything and don't like to ask questions in webinars. But don't worry, it's a very friendly group here, so don't be shy. So far, no questions. So I guess we're being crystal clear, Andreas. So good job on that.
Well, so I have a question, but it's about WebEx. If I drag your floating head and the little chat button thing to the center of my screen, are you going to see it?
Oh,
see that?
I don't think that works that way. I don't see that. But we're
at 2 minutes. As long as I didn't interrupt anything.
We're at They made some changes. We had stopped doing webinars for a couple of months just, so that I could keep up with my real estate business. And they made some changes, and I got to tell you that I need to go back to school on GoToMeeting. So.
Oh, look, I get it. And there's so many, right? And there is the point. Each of you, those tuning in the call, we're all using different systems. There's many that overlap, but there are more coming. And each of us has a formula that helps us do business. And taking that formula and making it a digital success is the most important thing you can do if you haven't done it already. Again, just to push us back, CB Insights provides this almost annually. They had to take up, 10% of this entire picture because there wasn't enough out there.
Yeah.
And then each year, because of the proliferation of these startups, less and less space, other providers.
Yeah.
The biggest question is, what are your needs? How to fix those.
Yeah.
And that's where working with tech forward and, candidly, real estate professionals who are building tech is your way to solve your needs because we understand the pain points. That's all I have. A bit short for me. How do I end it or end my screen share?
So again, we certainly invite questions, and if you want, we can stick around. We can stop the recording, and this way posterity won't know that you asked a question, and your clients will still think you know everything. So let me just go ahead.
I was just going to say, I can't even pretend to know everything. I've been lucky enough to surround myself with great people. My roundtable show every month, Saul Klein, David, you, of course, others, Becca Carlson, Anna Maria Kowalik, our friends over at Inland. And I advise everybody listening to do the same before you cut off the recording. Find your tribe, as Beckerman would call it.
Yeah. And, go back to the proliferation of technology. I mean, I remember when I first started in commercial real estate in 1986, the fax machine was just beginning to gain traction. And I remember everybody, standing around the fax machine, and the thing would spin around and around and around, and then it would print out on, if you were getting incoming fax, it would print out on that nasty paper, the thermal imprint or whatever they called it. And then when FedEx came around, that was oh my gosh. And email. So I'm just waiting for them to come to plant the chip in our brains or wherever they're going to put it, so that we can. I mean, I'm about to turn 60, and I do not understand the metaverse for nothing. And I don't know. Do you understand the metaverse, Andreas? Or is anybody else who out there understands metaverse? Unmute yourself and tell me why I need to invest time in it, please.
David and Andreas, do you guys want to put your contact info in the chat?
Okay. That's it. Thank you, Julia. That's a good idea. Here, I'm going to put my contact.
Yes, thank you, Julia. If I had to boil down the metaverse and if we should be paying attention, that's as broad a statement as if you should be paying attention to technology.
Yeah.
It's too big and too broad to really focus on. The closest thing I've but the most interesting recent presentation was avatars coming together in a room for a meeting, looking at site plans on the wall. But to be fair, we're all very good at email. We can all share that and not be in a virtual room wearing goggles looking at site plans together. That's the closest I've come, metaverse-wise. Julie, would you mind dropping my info in the chat, or David, because I have there's a presenter screen here
yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Julia.
Hey guys, this is.
Anybody else done anything in the metaverse, real estate wise? Although you can buy and sell land in.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is Blake. How are you guys?
Hey Blake, where are you?
I am in Melbourne, Florida, Space Coast. So East Coast of Florida is where we're based out of. And first, Metaverse. I mean, I think we should pay attention to it, but am I
Oh,
even
what?
paying attention to it? I mean, I'm so focused on my business that it's something that I keep thinking like, man, I should really understand more about this, and then I don't. But I think it's going to be a game changer in many ways, but I don't know if it's necessarily going to affect our generations. I think it's the generations that are, our kids' age, right? Um, that it really changes the scope of things. But my question is, I
100%.
mean, you guys had mentioned a couple of different tools that have been instrumental in your business and day to day. Those being the Next CRE and Creco, and the other one was the Resquared. Are there any other specific platforms, whether it's a CRM or any other pieces of technology that you've found instrumental in your daily life that you think are worth looking into?
One that I haven't pulled the trigger on yet, just because I haven't been doing that much retail recently. But Placer AI, I think, is really amazing technology, and that
Cool.
basically anonymizes people's cell phone data, and you get to see like how long people are spending in a shopping center, or it could be an office building too. What where they're coming from, so you get a very good picture of the trade area. I want to say I've got a store next to a Walgreens, and I want to show my prospects that this is the highest volume Walgreens or the highest trafficked Walgreens in the market. You can get information like that from it. So I think there's a lot of great information that you can get from.
Awesome. So I should keep my meeting with them next Friday. I shouldn't cancel
Yeah.
it. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Placer.ai is truly great tech, especially for retail, and even as an owner, manager, or even the store owner. How efficient is that store against the others? How long are the customers in the store? They've got some very unique insights. That's very
excellent.
cool tech.
I think Build Out and Sharp Launch and RealNext. If you're creating marketing collateral, I think those are all terrific platforms. They also help you syndicate to sites like QuantumListing, uh, and so I think they're terrific. Stack Source, which I saw on your slide, Andreas, is helps people get financing. You plug in your deal, the basics on your deal, and then they show that information to their pool of lenders, and they see if there's a match in that pool. So there's a lot of great ways to take various parts of the industry and integrate it with what you're doing. And one of the neat things about Creco is that they help you have everything visible in one dashboard instead of having to log into a gajillion different things.
Awesome.
That's right. It's all about our time. Time is the only thing technology cannot make more of today that I know of. And so anything we can do to save time and get back to dealing with our clients, that's what Cricut does. Just as QuantumListing will help you syndicate, distribute deals, Greco is going to help you manage your technology and then optimize flashing that data. Just to add one more there, because as I mentioned, I love working with them. Prospect Now is just incredible for sourcing deals. That's owner name, owner email, owner phone number. They've also got a 18 plus year old algorithm that has been learning to predict when properties are going to come up for sale. And that's important because algorithms, AI, takes time to teach.
Right.
So they're a great provider. And most importantly, of course, QuantumListing and Creco.ai. And then we have chat support. We can walk you through the rest of it. But I talk with people all the time, and they ask that very question. It's a broad question. It's, what's your problem? Is it filling the pipeline? Is it moving the middle of the pipeline? Each of us is at a different point in our business.
Sure.
Depending on
Well, thank you, guys.
Well, thank you, Blake.
Thank you.
Right. Anybody else with questions? Well, when I first was taking my brokerage class back in 88, I think, or 89. Maybe it was even my salesperson class in 1986. But the teacher said on the first day, your time is your stock in trade, and that's stuck with me. And so anything that can help you, we don't have that Harry Potter time turner thing that. So anything that can help us, be more efficient with our time is really something to look into. And let us know if you're using anything that you find super helpful also, because we try to be everywhere and know everything, but there's always something new.
That's right. The bleeding edge, right? You don't want to be bleeding out, but those newer technologies are the key to gaining incredible market share. Is really it, and that you just have to, as smaller practitioners, assumably, as companies, we are able to be nimble and flexible in what we use. We can try things quickly. We can discard things quickly. In a lot of cases, larger firms are slower to adjust, and not so much now, given Fifth Wall and all of these larger investment arms. But even those are slower moving than you can be. It's just a question of your own business challenges. I found with our users.
All right. Well,
that'll be said.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for your time today, and I want to thank Julia for all your help in coordinating today's show. And if you missed any of it or want to go back and rewatch it, we'll be sending out a link to the video, and we hope to see you again real soon. And keep making deals out there, folks. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, gentlemen.
All right. Thanks.